Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're regular here, you know I review many photographic, audio and video related products. Now I've come upstairs today to a studio I'm setting up. It's still work in progress, so I hope you do like the look of it. Let me know if you do. I will be doing more filming up here as the months go on, as long as I can get it set up how I want it. Now, I'm looking at today another Zhiyun product. Now, they've sent this to me for review. I haven't had to purchase it. They're very kind in sending me video and lighting products, and I really do like their gear. It's fantastic. I will leave some links in the description below where you can get more information and buy this gear from, and I very much hope you do, because it is great kit. And what we're looking at today is a Molus G300 video light. Now it's called a G300 because it's effectively a 300 watt COB light. COB meaning chip on board. So you get very constant and very accurate light coming out of this light. It's fully adjustable, so you can adjust the Kelvin temperature right from 2700 right up to 6500. Might be 6700. I'll leave it in the video what it is. And here it is. It's beautifully made. It's all metal construction, and the fan is actually in the unit. But also what they've done, they've separated the power supply and control unit into a different box. I think that is a brilliant idea, because it makes this far more compact and a lot more easier to move around with. You've got a handle, a metal constructed handle, very well made. And as I say, fan in the back of the unit to keep it cool, but it's a really quiet running fan. So for video, you need a quiet running fan. You don't want a noisy fan because it could be picked up on the microphones. I use a tie clip mic, and even if this is really close to me, you're not going to be able to pick up the sound. I am going to power it on in a minute, obviously, so you can see it working. There's the COB light. Now it is a Bowens mount, so you can fit any of the Bowens modifiers, any of the soft boxes, anything that either Bowens have made in the past and Zhiyun make for the Bowens fit. So they haven't gone for a unique fitting, you know, their own proprietary fitting. They've gone for one that is pretty standard across the board. It comes with this Bowens modifier, which is fantastic, you know, and you can put a diffuser on the front of it. But as I say, you can fit any modifiers on here. It's Bowens mount, so that just bayonet fit, that just goes in like so, and that's in. You've got that ready to go now. Very long mains leads, which is great, because if you need to move it across the other side of the room, it's a 7.5 meter cable, so it'll go pretty much anywhere. And standard tripod mounting at the bottom of the unit. And as I say, really, really well made. Power supply just plugs into the bottom here. Bayonet fit again, so it's not going to fall out. That's great if somebody does trip over the cable. They're not going to pull the lead out right in the middle of filming. So that is great. You can power it from, well, you need to power it from this control unit. So it's got a really well-made control unit, fan on the front of the unit. You can even lay it down, as I just had on the actual desk, and control it that way. Control it just by adjusting the controls here, or you can hang it on a light stand, a mic stand, whatever, however you want to hang it. You can just hang it, you know, however you need to. Also, if you're hanging it, that has a tendency to add weight to your tripod if you're mounting it on hanging it from a your camera tripod stand, and it certainly adds weight to your lighting stands. Again, your lights aren't going to topple over. I'm actually using the control box separate to the unit. I'm not having it close to the unit so I can control it. But another way of controlling it, I think, is even better, and I find brilliant, is my cup of tea, definitely, is the app. Let's just show you how that works. Now, I've downloaded the app on my Android flip phone. It'll work on Android, iOS. It's called ZY Vega. I got it on the phone here, so we load up ZY Vega, and then it will load up the actual app, and then we can power up the light. You see the lights come on there. You can definitely see the lights come on there. Let's move it out of the way that way. So you can power it up that way. Now that's running at 1% brightness. As I say, it is a 300 watt light, but you can go up to 500 watt output. So there is a boost mode on it where you can go up to 500 watt of output. I wouldn't use that in here. I don't think many people are going to need 500 watts of output. I don't think many people are going to use 300 watts of output. But there is that capability with this light. And it runs cool simply because of a fan built into the actual unit and built into the control unit that I've got on the desk here. But I love to use the app because you do so much more with the app. You can adjust the color temperature just by sliding the color temperature wheel up and down, and that will adjust the color temperature accordingly. And we can increase the brightness. If we increase the brightness, you can see the effect that's having there with a color temperature a lot better. And it's still only at 47%. So you can do a lot with that. So that's now at its coolest 2700 Kelvin. And then we can take it right the way up to 6500 Kelvin. So beautiful, really, really nice piece of kit. And you can, I would normally have it set to 5600 because that's what my lights are set up at. I would have it set to 5600 and you're happy then. It's 5650 actually, but I would have it set to 5600. That would create a nice, really nice glow, a nice light. So that's one way of controlling it. Or you can control it via the controller, which is also the power adapter. So you can control it via this. So using the controller, you can actually just push this button in and that'll go up 20% at a time. So it's going up 20%, that's now at 100%, push it in again and that'll take it off. And then I say push it in and that'll go 20%. And then this will dim it. So you can either go brighter or dimmer by turning the wheel. That is really, really good. And then on this side, we'll adjust the Kelvin temperature. So again, control it via this or control it via the app. There is a music mode on here. Let me turn that off for a second. There is a music mode actually on this light. That's great if you're filming pop videos. The light will flash. There's a microphone built into either the light or the controller. I'm not quite sure where the microphone is. But that's not the mode I will use. I will use it purely for lighting the studio here or lighting in my studio downstairs, or certainly when I go out on location, because it is it's compact enough to take around with you. It is mains powered, so you do need to be fairly close to a mains power outlet, but because it's got a 7.5 meter cable, you can stretch it if you really need to, and that's not, that's not going to be an issue with that at all. And I've actually got it plugged into a 4-way block, so you don't need to plug it into its own socket. Helpful if you do, I think, particularly if you're going to run it at 500 watts. But it does run pretty cool and it does run very silently. So yeah, that's an introduction to the Zhiyun Molus G300 light. As I say, goes up to 500 watts and it is such a well-made light. I've now put the camera on a light stand and I think you guys and girls are going to be shocked about what power setting I've got it set at. I was certainly shocked when I set it up. I've got this, believe it or not, set to 1%. Yes, I'm not lying, 1%. I don't know if you can see that on that camera, but that is set to 1% light output. So my other light that I had, that was set up to 50% light output. So this gives you a really, really, really good indication how useful this light is and how powerful this light is. Now let's take this up higher. I'm not going to leave it up too high for too long, simply because it's going to blow everything out and it's not going to look very attractive. But we can turn this dial just at very, very small increments and you'll see how that is turning the power output of that up. And even now, that's set to 3%, and that is just too bright at 3%. So we can just keep on going. You see, if we keep on going, that's just going to get brighter and brighter. And that is just going to start to look absolutely atrocious. And that's now set at 6%. So we need to take that right back down to about 1% for this light to be usable in this environment. And the fact that you can take it right down to 1% is brilliant. I think it's a very, very useful piece of kit that I will certainly use when I go out and about, because you don't know what environment you're going to actually end up in. You wouldn't want to use this as a field light. I would use my little X60 down there as a field light, or my Molus X100 as a field light. This would definitely be a main light. And the fact that it is a Bowen's mount light, but you can fit all the modifiers, all the soft boxes, anything you need it on the light to be able to create that lovely effect that you might need. But as I say, that's down to 1%, controllable via the box or by the app, and a very, very powerful light that will go up to 500 watt. But you can see now, can't you, in this environment and most studio setups, you're not going to need it anywhere near 300 watts, let alone the 500 watts that it can generate. But it's brilliant that it's capable to go up to 500 watts, because there may be an occasion when you do need that amount of power. So there we go. That's the Zhiyun Molus G300 video light. I would like to thank Zhiyun very much for sending me these lights for review. I really, really do appreciate it. And, you know, if you do want to take a look at more of their products, take a look at these links I've left in the description. Just so you know, though, this cable, this mains lead, is really long. Now, I've got the light set up, the control boxes on the table here. There's still plenty of lead. It's not tight, I haven't run it tight, and there's still plenty of lead here. So, you know, if you do need to run it across long distances, this can do it. So there we go. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you found this video useful. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. Hit the like button if you like the content of my videos. We'd really, really appreciate that. It does help me grow the channel. Cheers for now. Bye.